Good evening, everyone. It's wonderful to be here in New York in person. And thank Mazidar, Mitra Rotnabadi and the entire OpenFin team for putting together a very enjoyable evening. And as Mazi said, nothing beats in person. And it's good to be here with the OpenFin and FinJS community. I'm Ganesh Iyer. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for IPC. And a show of hands, how many of you know IPC? Okay. I think I have a lot to talk about then because it's not a big number here. But it's, as I said, great to be here. And I had the opportunity to be on a panel that Mazi led in London 5 months ago. And I must say Mitra timed that really, really well. It was the Wednesday after Thanksgiving, and I think it was the last possible time anyone could have traveled right in the midst of Omicron. So it's, well, now things are much, much more predictable, so it's good to be here in New York. So anyways, what IPC, what we have is we operate a financial markets cloud. We are the industry's leader in trading communications as well as managed network services. Over 200,000 traders use our solutions around the world, and we connect over 7,000 locations all around the world. What does that mean? When there are 200,000 traders by the law of numbers, that lends itself to over 20 billion possible interactions between all the different endpoints. And 7,000 locations, that means that there's 25 million possible connections. So it's all about communications, connectivity, and ecosystems and bringing the markets together. So we are a partner of OpenFin's, and we value the strategic partnership. Last year, we did win the best partnership in the 2021 Sell-Side Technology Awards. That's run by Waters. And if I were to describe the partnership, I would use one word, interoperability, which basically means creating an open ecosystem where applications can talk with each other. So what we have done with OpenFin is create an App Store type environment. And what does that enable? Namely, 3 things. Applications that IPC has developed that can share information and data alongside applications that our clients develop. So the banks, they have their own applications, IPC applications, which are voice-powered, voice communications applications. That can be, there's interoperability without the need for any kind of native integration. Second, we operate a financial markets cloud. It's called Connexus, and there's hundreds of trade lifecycle services as well as market data that's available on Connexus Cloud. That can be accessed through any OpenFin-enabled desktop as well as an IPC endpoint. And lastly, any kind of application that's available in the OpenFin ecosystem that can be integrated or into IPC-powered communications workflows. So most of the traders in the world use IPC, and those trader workflows can integrate with other applications that OpenFin has. And when I talk about IPC's endpoints, they're all powered by OpenFin, so that there's application integration. We have what many of you know as turrets or dealer boards. Also a device called Pulse, which is used by trader support personnel. And lastly, soft communications devices. So you don't have to use a hard device. You can get the same benefits by using a soft turret, either on your desktop, an iPad, or Surface Pro, or on your mobile phone. So our community is connected, but our cloud communications, as well as our turret, all of that can be integrated together through our partner ecosystem. We bring together various types of communications, both electronic connectivity and voice communications together. So why is all this really important? Because when we talk to our clients and the markets, we find that they cite 2 topics as really important to them. The first is communications throughout the full trade life cycle. What does that mean? Everything from order creation to order placement to trade execution to clearing, settlement, reporting, and market data delivery. All of that requires communications and connectivity, different applications talking to each other, everything that touches the trade lifecycle. And firms also are looking for a diverse financial ecosystem that comprises different types of players, from the sell side to the buy side to different types of counterparties, liquidity venues, market data providers, and so on. So the market's continually evolving, and we're seeing fragmentation in the markets, new trading protocols emerge, different types of market participants. The market structure is also evolving. That's changed the buy side's behavior, the process of price discovery, the nature of liquidity provisioning, especially during stress times. All of that, when markets are evolving and the behaviors are changing, communications and connectivity play a very key role. There's also an ongoing push for openness in trading, interoperability being the key thing. And without interoperability, firms can't deliver alpha in the way they want to and gain access to different opportunities. Also, interoperability unlocks trading desk efficiencies. So collaboration and symbiosis between the buy side and the sell side, that's really critical to the overall financial ecosystem, and interoperability and technology play a critical role in that area. And traders are looking for, they're adopting the cloud. That's something that's been going on for quite a long time now. We are seeing a lot of increased use of APIs and an open API philosophy and more open architecture. So again, all of this has to be looked at in the context of what the goals of investment managers are. And investment managers are looking to generate alpha, manage their market risk or beta, source liquidity, mitigate risk, diversify, as well as protect their assets. And these market participants are growing in number, the variety and nature of market participants. So institutional investors, the diversity and number of institutional investors are growing, as well as different asset managers, hedge funds, and so on. All right, a little bit of silence, please. Hear me out. So now, communications and connectivity are really crucial to the markets, and I want to give you some use cases, right? So let's take a look at a typical hedge fund. They have many different types of communications needs. The hedge fund would need to access the markets. Connectivity and communications are critical for that. They need to go to their broker-dealers as well as different liquidity venues, whether they're traditional liquidity venues or your alternative trading systems, electronic communication networks, dark pools, different types of dealer platforms. They also need to access market data and trade lifecycle services. Internal communications is key in a hedge fund, right? Between traders, trader support, analysts, economists, risk managers, and so on. Again, a lot of application sharing, data sharing going on there. And then you have investors that invest in a hedge fund. It could be the pension funds, sovereign wealth funds, foundation, endowments, and others that invest in that group. So again, there's a lot of communications, connectivity, and application data sharing. So interoperability is critical. Another use case, investor relationship communication. So investor relations at a hedge fund or a buy-side firm, they need to be able to communicate performance to pension funds and other investors that work with them, whether they're plan sponsors or endowments and so on. Looking at risk managers, right? Very often in risk management, you don't want to rely on pricing provided internally by your own sales team or others, because especially for very difficult to value securities. For liquid securities, that's easy. So risk managers often have to go to third-party pricing providers, and that communication and connectivity is also critical. Then analysts, you have sell-side analysts as well as buy-side analysts. These analysts are always on the road, especially some of the sell-side analysts. They're analyzing companies, the value of the stocks, as well as the bonds of the companies, and they're on site visiting those companies. They have to communicate information sometimes critically to the portfolio manager or the trader that's at the home desk. And even during the pandemic, one of the functions that we found was still very much an in-office function is the trader function. So again, the analysts are more mobile, work remotely, whereas traders are typically at their desks. And lastly, middle and back office communications between various functions and the front office. Anyone that touches the trade lifecycle, they're all working different applications. Communications is important. Whatever the trader workflow communications are, that needs to be integrated with other types of applications and communications, so that all of that needs to be streamlined. The second point I talked about that's really important to market participants is ecosystems. So in addition to the community, the ecosystems are just as important. The communications as it relates to ecosystems. So if you look at ecosystems, it's about bringing buyers and sellers together. And these ecosystems become really, really important during stress market conditions and during volatile market conditions. And you're seeing that a lot these days. So every day this week there's been a lot of volatility in the markets. And so what happens during volatile times, right? Investment managers are leveraging and they're taking on additional risk to get those returns and generate alpha. But during times of stress, they're deleveraging and de-risking. And liquidity provisioning can often become transient. And you also see the bid-ask spreads widen. It's hard to find your counterparty. So you need to have an ecosystem that's not only large, but very diverse, so you can find your natural counterparty and also any opportunistic providers of liquidity or any alternative providers of liquidity. We're also seeing more all-to-all trading. So again, that lends itself to more communications and more connectivity. It's not just between the sell side and the sell side, or the buy side and the sell side. Now the buy side is talking to other buy sides. There's more all-to-all trading. So again, there's a liquidity also shifting to the buy side, so you're seeing a lot of that. Market fragmentation, you're seeing a lot more liquidity venues and ways to source liquidity. It's not just going to the NYSE or the NASDAQ, you're going to alternative liquidity providers. So again, connecting these fragmented liquidity providers and communications around that, that's critical. We're also seeing a lot of different trading protocols. Voice is very important. People still rely on voice during stress market conditions, especially. They need to find their counterparty. It's all about the relationship and the trust. But there's other forms like central limit order books, FX-style streaming, request for quotes, request for stream and market, click to trade, so different trading styles. But in summary, what I would say is it's all about efficiently linking buyers and sellers together and ensuring that that communications and connectivity is there, enabling dealers to offset their inventory easily, find their counterparty, reduce the holding period for different dealer positions so that the dealers are not holding on to a position for too long and managing risk, and enabling investors to transact with each other, find the other counterparty, and improve price discovery. All really important, but having access to a dynamic and diverse cloud ecosystem is really critical. Then integrating voice and electronic trading. It's not all about whether you're trading via voice or whether you're trading electronically. There's different stages of the trade life cycle that would use voice communications and others that would use electronic connectivity. And also the type of products that are being traded, how frequently they're being traded, whether they're liquid, illiquid, homogeneous, whether they're standardized or not. Depending on that, you'd have different styles, and different stages would require a different mode of communications. And all of this across the front, middle, and back office. So people are looking for business continuity and disaster recovery because markets are 24/7. And some firms are looking for ultra low latency trading, whereas others just want to have access to a community. Others want to collaborate. So again, communications and connectivity are critical, as well as a diverse ecosystem. And sharing data between different applications, that interoperability also becomes really critical. So what IPC has is we have a platform called Connexus Unigy. It's a cloud-enabled SaaS platform, and that powers communications globally across the financial markets. And it doesn't matter what endpoint you're using. You could be using a turret, which IPC is well known for. You could be using a mobile phone, Android, iOS, have a soft client powered on your desktop or your laptop. You could use a pulse device. So we're device agnostic, so it's more of a anytime, anywhere, any device type of communication strategy that we adopt. And our customer engineering team is upstairs at the booth, led by Kevin Griffith and Cesar Manriquez. I urge all of you to go and look at our product demos this evening, and they're going to show how communications are being empowered through the IPC OpenFin partnership, and how a soft client is also will enable trading communications, how we are enabling regulated user communications that support traders. So I urge you to take a look at that from our customer engineering team. They are subject matter experts. We also have our account executives and other experts here today. So please do meet with them and talk to them this evening. And ultimately, we're all doing this to help the buy side achieve their goals, right? Whether it's asset protection, alpha generation, liquidity sourcing, diversification, or risk mitigation. So again, I'd like to thank you very much for your time this evening. And again, it was an honor and a privilege to address this audience. And again, thank Mazidar, CEO of OpenFin, Mitra, for always putting together very enjoyable evenings, the entire OpenFin team, as well as the FinJS community. So thank you so much, everyone.